All right, so I have a video today for you guys. I've really been looking forward to putting together. Hopefully you didn't miss it, but a few weeks ago I announced my summer 2020 giveaway. Today is the day of the draw. In that same video though, I also asked if anyone had any questions for a Q&A video. So we're going to be doing both today. We're going to start off with the questions. Got a whole bunch of really good questions, and we'll close out the video with the draw of the winners of the watches. So question number one comes from Alberto Martin. Thanks for the question, Alberto. His question is, which is the frequency to do a service to a mechanical watch? And there's a bunch of different schools of thought with this, but my own personal rule is if the watch is working and running properly, I will not take it in for a service. If a watch starts to gain, lose a bunch of time, there's a problem with one of the functions with the watch, that's the point where I'll take my watch in to get it serviced. I do have one exception to that, and that is with pre-owned dive watches. I like to go swimming, snorkeling, that sort of thing with my divers, and I will take a pre-owned diver in to have it pressure tested. I actually have a watchmaker very close to where I live, so I can just take a quick drive over and he'll do it for me very quickly. So that is my one exception to that rule, where I'll have a watch looked at without any apparent problems with it. This might not be the right answer to this question, but this is just kind of how I do it. The next question is a quick one from my affordable watch collection, and he asks, what was the first watch you've ever owned? And the first watch I remember owning was a Timex Ironman. It was either black and yellow or maybe black with orange. Had a Velcro strap, and I'm not sure, but it may still be at my parents' house. My parents are quite a ways away from me out on the east coast of Canada, but next time I'm there, I'm going to see if I can hunt it down, and I'll share it with you guys here on the channel. Question number three comes from Andrew Drill, and he asks, what is your biggest mistake on getting into watches? I made a very common one that I know a lot of you guys probably have too, and that was overspending on fashion watches early on. I probably had 6 or 7 fashion watches before I knew anything at all about the kind of watches that I'm into today, but I don't really look at that as a mistake. It's kind of a speed bump a lot of us go through, and it's just part of the watch collecting journey. And if it wasn't for those watches, I probably never would have discovered the whole watch community to begin with. Now, the next two questions I'm going to combine into one answer. And the first question is from Machi Rosinski. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but he's asking, what is that white blue background of your reviews? That's where I do my tabletops. He says, I love it. Could you show us what it is exactly? And I'm going to do that here in just a second. The second question comes from SoCal Watch Reviews, and he says, can you please show us what equipment you use to take pictures and shoot your videos, maybe a behind the scenes video to show the process? I've been thinking about doing a behind the scenes video, and I may do that at some point in time, but I'll give you kind of a quick look at the setup that's happening right here. And I'll also take you over to the tabletop and show you that blue and white background that is in most of my videos. And what I'm going to do is show you guys this stuff on the GoPro, but I think first I need to shut out the studio lights here. So here's kind of a backed off look of the area here. I know a lot of people think that this is a kitchen that I'm working in, but it's just kind of a basement bar area. On either side of the table, we have a couple of studio lights, pretty affordable stuff. The camera that I'm using is a Canon 90D. On it right now is the kit lens. We also have the Rode shotgun microphone. For a lot of my intros and macros, I'll use the 100mm macro lens. Over here is where I do the tabletop. So it's just on a coffee table. I set up lights on either side and put the tripod in the middle, and that's how I do the videos. Next up is a question from Tiempo, and he asks, any tips for starting a YouTube channel? And I know I just showed you guys gear and stuff like that. Don't worry about the gear. You can start with anything as simple as a cell phone, and there's a lot of great channels, and quite big channels, that use exclusively cell phones. I would say if you want to invest some money, the lights are a good idea. A very affordable microphone is a good idea as well, but you just got to do it. The bottom line is you just got to pull the trigger and do it. Cameron Tate asks, why did you start making watch videos on YouTube? And thanks for that question, Cameron. I've been making videos since I was quite young, even back in high school. Some friends of mine and I, instead of doing written essays or speeches, we'd ask our teacher if we could do it in a video format. So we'd do these little skits on the different subject, and really enjoyed it. I've always had fun with video editing, even before the YouTube thing, with travel videos, family videos, that sort of thing. Once the watch passion came along, once I discovered the hobby, I started looking at YouTubers that were doing watch videos, and I was inspired by them to do my own thing. Antonio asks, I love your Seiko Legend series. When can I expect more of them? And I know there's been a little bit of a gap between the last one and the one that's going to be coming up here very soon, but there is one coming very soon, and it's going to be of the Turtle SRP 777. The OG Turtle reissue. If you're not familiar with the series, I've been revisiting some of the classic Seikos, modern. I'm going to do a couple of vintage ones as well. And it's just stuff like the SKX, the Flighty. I've done the Orange Monster. The Turtle's next on deck. You can expect that here in the next week or two. And hopefully more of those videos to come. So a number of people asked what would be my one grail watch if I could pick just one. And I have a really hard time narrowing watches and desired watches down to just one. If I had to pick just one, and I'm not a big Rolex guy, but I would love to own, I think it'd be really cool to own a birth year Pepsi GMT. My birth year is 78, so a 78 GMT would be awesome. My daughter starts university this year, so I know that is not happening anytime soon, but it'd be really cool to have a watch like that in the collection. Mr. Bacchus asks, tell me why I shouldn't buy a Damasco DS30 because I have an itchy trigger finger, LOL. Well, sir, this is an awesome watch. You're talking to the wrong guy because I am a complete enabler. Go out there and get yourself that watch. Next question is from Jay Shonzy. Jay's a really cool guy. He's lent in a few watches into the channel. I think he's actually got one coming into me here very soon that's going to be a neat one to check out with you guys. But he's asking, not sure if this question has been asked, but what are your plans for the travel side of the channel? Are you going to visit any domestic locations? So we've had a total of 4 trips canceled. One of the trips, if we would have taken it, we would have been in Panama when the lockdown kicked in. So I'm glad we got out of that one. The big trip of the year was supposed to be for my wife's birthday, which was actually just this past Friday, and we were going to go to Spain, go to Barcelona, a bunch of different areas in Spain and check out the country. And really disappointed that we weren't able to do that this year, but we will eventually get there, and I'm really looking forward to that trip. As far as the local stuff goes, in my area, it's still a little bit too locked down to really go anywhere and have fun. There's just not enough stuff open. Toronto downtown, there's some really cool stuff that I could show you guys in video. Niagara Falls is very close to me. Then if you go north, there's some beautiful countryside. We were actually trying to get to a hotel booked in this small town called Tobermory. There's shipwrecks there in the lake, really nice clear blue water. I was going to do some snorkeling, all that, but everything's just too locked down. All the restaurants are hard to get into. So we're going to wait till it opens up a little bit more, but we will definitely do some local stuff. So there's still quite a few questions, but I think I'm going to cut it off at this particular one. And I really like doing the Q&A thing, so I'll be doing this again in the future. And if I missed your question, I'll try to get it in the next one. But this last question is from Lou Keller, and he says, when you do a review on a watch, are these watches where you reach out to the manufacturer to review, or do they reach out to you to review their watches? Also, do they let you keep them, or I noticed you have to send them back out? So I used to reach out to companies all the time, not as much now, probably a couple of times a month if I see something that catches my eye on Instagram or somewhere, I'll reach out. But most of the time they reach out to me, and I've built some relationships with a few different companies so that they always send out their new stuff. As far as keeping watches, most of them are not sent in for me to keep. The ones that are keepers, I disclose on the channel. I'll disclose right in that video that the watch was sent in for free for me to keep and do the review. And most of the time with those watches, I give them away. One of the last ones I got that was free, I gave to a local guy that I know would be interested in that particular watch. We're doing the giveaway here in just a minute of these two watches. They were both free watches. So a lot of it ends up just getting gifted to either you guys or friends and family. All right, so to the giveaway, and just a quick recap on what is up for grabs. So first of all, we're going to be drawing for a Panda Dial chronograph from Monsieur watches. The watch is going to be coming with 2 straps from Strap Mill Canada, so big thanks to them for donating the straps for the giveaway. Up for the next part of the draw is going to be the Aviate Flyboy Engineer, a really awesome watch from Aviate, and also with a strap from Strap Mill Canada. So let's draw for the Panda first, and the winner of the Panda Dial chronograph is Doyle 777. Congrats on the new watch, Doyle. I'm sure you're going to really love it. It's a really cool piece. The next draw is going to be for the AV8, and the winner of the AV8 is Pedro Regala. Congrats to both of you guys on your new watches. All you have to do is email me at timetogo1978@gmail.com with your shipping info, and I'll get them out with tracking right away. Really appreciate everybody that participated in the giveaway, and the questions means a lot to me. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. All right, to the giveaway. I don't even have the watches out. They're back here. Very ill prepared here today.